G'day everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how to set up the Taylordrift Ultimate FPS Killer script. I'll leave some instructions on the screen for you now so you can take a screenshot of those and keep them handy, but I will be going through script navigation and telling you what buttons to press as well. You'll need to have this script downloaded and already on your Zen. If you're not sure how to do that, check the description of this video and there'll be a link to a video of me showing you how to download and install a Taylordrift script. Now that that's out of the way, let's get into it. Okay, so the first thing you'll need to do is enter the menu. The buttons to press to enter the menu for the first time will be the same for everyone. Depending on your controller layout, this may change. To enter the menu, on Xbox you press LT and menu. For PlayStation, press L2 and options. Now you're in the menu, use the D-pad to scroll down to the bottom option that says controller config and press X or A to enter the controller config settings. This is where you need to set the controls for the game you're playing. The first one will already be set to L2/LT, so if you ADS or aim down your sight in game with that button, leave it. If you play flipped, then you'll need to use up or down on the D-pad to change it to L1 or LB. So it's there in the options to scroll through until you find it, and it'll be there. But if you play on anything else, default or whatever it is, just leave it. After this, press right on the D-pad and set your fire buttons. I fire with RT or R2. If you play flipped, it'll be R1, RB. So I'll scroll through. There's mine. Whatever button you shoot with, you choose that there. After that, scroll through all of the other options here. So tactical grenade, so that's your flash or stuns or whatever. Then you got your lethal, so your grenades, semtexes, thermites, that sort of thing. Crouch button, go through and set all of these up. So go through and choose a button for all of these options. If you do play on any of the flipped controller layouts, the way you enter the menu and change your values will now slightly change. Instead of LT/L2 and pressing the other buttons to enter the menu or change the values, you will now just need to use LB or L1 and press the other buttons instead. I'll have some instructions on the screen now so you can see what I mean. It's not a very big change, so don't panic. After all the buttons, you come over to block rumble. The in-game vibration will need to be on. If you don't like your controller vibrating, then you use this block rumble feature to turn it off. Next is hair triggers. This will make it so when you press your triggers about 30% of the way in, it will register as a 100% pull. If you have digital triggers or play flip, then don't bother with this. The next option is for when using a PlayStation controller on Xbox. It will remap your touchpad button for you. So if you're not using a PlayStation button on Xbox, then don't bother turning this on. Now we're all done with the controller configuration. Press circle or B to back out of that part of the menu and go up to the settings section. The first option we come to is the profile button. This will be the button you press in game that will make the script change from its primary to secondary profile. So most people will have it set to triangle Y, as that's the button they usually press in game to change weapons. If you don't want it to be triangle Y, press up or down on the D-pad and select something else that you want to use. Next is the resync buttons. Sometimes your primary and secondary profiles on the script get a bit mixed up, so this is here to easily fix that. To select the buttons, what you need to do is hold your ADS button and use left or right on the D-pad to choose the first button. So I'm going to go with L2/LT, and then what you're going to do is let go of the ADS button, press down on the D-pad, hold the ADS button again, and then use the D-pad to select the second button. I'm going to go with L2/LT and D-pad down. You can go with whatever you like. Now we've picked the resync buttons. Come over again to the custom profile. This script allows you to have a primary, a secondary, and a custom profile for 3 separate anti-recoil settings. To access the custom profile, you need to set these buttons up. So now what you want to do is use that exact same method you just used to pick your resync buttons to pick these custom profile buttons as well. Next is the rapid fire quick toggle. This will allow you to turn rapid fire on and off without entering the menu. If you want to use it, set your buttons the same way we just did for the last 2 settings. Next is the quick toggle option that's available for the sniper/handgun mode that's available in this script. It was made so you can activate handgun mode when you're dropping into Battle Royale. This will give you a separate anti-recoil setting for your starting pistol and give you the option to automatically have rapid fire turned on when you activate handgun or sniper mode. Once you find ground loot, you can deactivate the handgun and sniper mode and it'll go back to your normal primary, secondary, or custom profile settings. So if you want to use it, then set your buttons here now. I personally don't use it, so I'm going to leave it. After this is 2 more quick toggles. There's one for prone shot and there's one for jump shot as well. I'll be going through those mods later so you see what they do, but if you want these on a quick toggle so you can turn them off and on quickly, set that up here. Alright, after all that, the script is all set up. Now you're free to go through and choose what mods you want to use. Selecting mods and changing values is easy. Press A or X to enter the menu of the highlighted option. You can now turn mods off and on by using up and down on the D-pad. Lots of the mods will also have more changeable values inside. Press X or A again to access those. Change the values, hold your ADS button and use the D-pad. Left and right will change the values 1 at a time. Up and down will change them 10 at a time, sometimes more, depending on the mod. Now, I know we've gone through a lot of buttons and it's probably confusing for some, but remember, I put instructions at the start of the video. Refer to that if you need to, as everything you need to know is there. And also, once you're in the menu, if you look at the bottom of the Zen screen, so once you go into here, for example, you'll see it tells you down the bottom there what buttons you need to press to do certain things. So to enter the menu, exit the menu, change values, change profiles, you can see there. You get the point. So the script kind of tells you what buttons you need to press to. So don't panic. You've got the instructions that I've given you, plus the Zen kind of tells you what buttons as well. So you're not going to get too lost. Okay, so by now you should have the controls sorted and have a basic understanding of how to enter enter the menu, navigate the menu, and change values. I'm going to jump into a private lobby and go through the available mods and what they do. To make sure this video isn't going to go for an hour, I'm going to skip the mods I've already done full tutorials for and leave a link to those in the description of this video. But now that that's all set up, let's jump in and have a look at these mods. Alright, so let's go through these available options on the script. The first one is anti-recoil and aim assist. The first anti-recoil option, you've got two basic ones, Rumble and Legacy. Inside Rumble and Legacy, you've got two options there as well, vertical and horizontal strength. The more the recoil of the weapon goes up, the more you're going to have to turn this vertical strength up, and the horizontal is for left and right. So if the weapon's recoil goes up and to the right, you're going to need to put this value to the left, and if the weapon's recoil goes to the left, you're going to need to put the horizontal value to the right. So I'll give you a very quick example now. I'll leave this on Rumble with no values chosen, back out of the menu. So without anti-recoil, you'll see the MP5 as the regular recoil like that. But once you adjust the Rumble or Legacy settings, I'll turn that up. We'll try 30. There we go. It goes over to the right a little bit. So I'd go, let's try -10 on this one to pull that back to the left a little bit. And try that here. And there you go. So some small adjustments to the anti-recoil can make it go from this to this, and that's, you know, it's much easier to deal with. Next is the progressive anti-recoil. Now, keep in mind, you only need to have one of these on at a time. Don't use Rumble and progressive or Legacy and progressive. You only need to use Rumble, Legacy, or progressive. Just one of the two. Progressive is a lot more in-depth. As you can see, there's a lot more options in here for you to go through. I've done an in-depth tutorial on progressive, and I'm going to leave a link to that one in the description. Next is the aim assist stuff. So we've got the Taylor aim assist. In this one, you've got quite a few different options, and again, I have done a full tutorial on Taylor aim assist. I'm going to leave a link to that in the description as well, just to save us some time. I'm sure you can appreciate this not going for an hour. After that is sticky aim, and again, I have done a full tutorial on this alone. So if you want to know what sticky aim does, check the description, watch the sticky aim video, and you'll be fully educated on how that works. Next on the list is steady aim. What this will do is slow down your sensitivity when you're on that enemy hitbox area. So just like the regular aim assist slows down your aim, this one slows it down a little bit more. So the higher you have the steady aim value, the more it slows down your sensitivity when you're on that enemy hitbox area. Unfortunately, I don't have anyone here to test that with me, so that's just what it does. Now, over here, we've got the dog's headshot aim assist. What this one will do is it'll, after shooting a few rounds, it'll flick your aim up. So if you're shooting them in the chest, it'll flick your aim up to hopefully get them in the head. It doesn't mean it's automatically going to aim at their head and shoot them and do automatic headshots, so don't get the wrong idea. All right, so next up, we have our shot mod. So in here, we've got rapid fire. If I turn rapid fire on, make sure after turning it on that you go into rapid fire and adjust the RPS. If you leave this at 0, nothing's going to happen. So you need to make sure that you adjust the RPS. I tend to leave mine at 15. It tends to work pretty well for most weapons. Now, with the rapid fire turned on, I've got my pistol here. You'll see what will happen is all I need to do is aim and hold the trigger, and it will tap it for me. So let me just quickly, there we go. So I got that on the screen now. So there, you'll see that I aim down my side. I just need to hold the trigger, and it will tap, tap, tap away. So that's what the rapid fire does. Next up is dynamic rapid fire. So this one's a little bit different to rapid fire. It's easy just to show you what it does. If I, with that on, I've got that set to 15 RPS. I'll back out so that saves. Now you'll see when I slowly pull the trigger, it shoots about that quickly. When I fully pull the trigger, it's a bit different. So if I slowly pull the trigger, you'll hear it get faster, okay? And there you go. So that's what dynamic rapid fire is. After this, we have Akimbo rapid fire. Pretty self-explanatory. So you have that one turned on. Make sure your RPS is set. Got your Akimbo weapons. You just need to pull the right trigger and it'll fire both of them. So obviously you can go through and change the anti-recoil for that if you wanted to, but that's what the yeah, that's what Akimbo fire is for. After that, we have Strafe Shot. So Strafe Shot will make your character move from left to right as you're shooting. So with that one turned on, you can also change the strafe time. So if you want to strafe longer or shorter, you can adjust that there. So we're back out so that saves. If I aim and shoot, you can see the mod there making my left stick move left to right. Now, I'll just give you the example. So if I go back in and I change this to, let me see, Strafe Shot, change it down to 200. So we get a really short strafe. You see the difference between them. There you go, that one's a little bit quicker. Next up, we have cancel reload. It's easy for to show you what this does. You'll see that when I shoot, as I reload and go to shoot again, nothing happens until that reload animation is finished. But with cancel reload turned on, there's some weapons you will have to adjust the reload time as well. But you'll see with cancel reload on, as I go to reload, if I shoot again, the reload doesn't happen. So it interrupts that animation. So you shoot, you're getting pushed. You don't have to wait for that animation to finish. Next on the list is the rapid fire type. So the rapid fire type, there's two different ones. So you've got fire only and you've got ADS and bumper. So with fire only, the way this works is like I showed before. If you have rapid fire turned on, let me turn that one on. You'll see that you just need to hold the trigger and it will rapid fire for you. Now that's done with pulling the right trigger. However, if you have the ADS bumper one turned on, so let me go back and turn that one on, ADS and bumper, this means that if I aim down my sight and press the trigger, nothing happens. All right, just shoots once. However, if I hold RB while I'm aiming down my sight, or R1 if you're on PlayStation, that's when the rapid fire is active. So that's up to you. Choose whether you want fire only or ADS and bumper. I have mine on fire only. I'll leave that there. Now we'll go through the extra mods here. So the first one, we've got custom sense. So custom sense, if we turn this one on, we've got general and ADS sense. Okay, so just like if I go into the settings here. Okay, now as you're all probably well aware, we've got the in-game settings here. We can adjust our horizontal stick sensitivity and the vertical stick sensitivity. Now looking at the script here, if we're looking at the general one here, you can see that my in-game sensitivity is 7. The 100 there on the script represents that 7. If we go above 100, it's going to increase our sensitivity. If I put it below 100, it's going to decrease my sensitivity of these ones here, the horizontal stick sensitivity and the vertical stick sensitivity in the game. So you might be thinking, well, Wayne, can't I just change it in the game here like this? And yes, you can. But in the game here, we can go from 7 to 8, 8 to 9, obviously, or 7 back to 6. However, look at this sensitivity mod as allowing you to change it from instead of 7 to 8 to 7.5. So maybe 7 feels too slow, 8 feels a bit too fast. But with this custom sensitivity mod, you can sit that somewhere in the middle. After the general sense, we've got ADS. So ADS is just like your ADS multipliers in here. So as you can see, I've got my ADS multipliers set. 100 represents whatever I have set in here. If I put this ADS sense mod above the 100, it's going to increase my ADS sensitivity for everything. If I put it below 100, it's going to slow it down even more. And then you've also got one here for fire. So this allows you to change the sensitivity of when you're hip firing only, which you can't do in the game settings. Now I'll show you how this works. I'll show the fire one because it's the easiest one to do. You'll see that when I shoot and just move around, hip firing, the sensitivity is pretty wild, but you can change that with this mod. So if I go back in to the custom sense, go to the fire only and change that down to something real low so you can actually see a difference. I wouldn't recommend turning it down that low, but just so you can see the difference. Now you'll see that when I hip fire, it's a lot more controlled, and that's me moving my stick all the way to the left, all the way to the right, the same way I did before. So that's what the mods do there. Next up, we've got slide cancel. So I've got that one on Modern Warfare / Vanguard, as that's what I'm mainly playing. If you're going to play Cold War or Halo, actually, you're going to use this one here, the Cold War one. This one works fine. There's also a setting in here, a slide delay. It's on 120 as a default. So by turning that on, your slide cancel will be like this. However, I like to turn mine down. So if I go back to slide cancel, I have mine on 70. You'll see it's much shorter. And there we go. So yeah, slide cancel works fine. Moving on, we have Quickscope. The next two, Quickscope and Holdbreath, are both sniper mods. So Quickscope, if you turn that one on, you can adjust the scope delay as well. All you need to do with that one turned on is tap the left trigger, and that will aim down your sight and shoot for you. If you want to be able to have a bit more time before it shoots, what you do is you come into the Quickscope options and we turn this one up. So let's try turning this one up to say 600, and you'll now see you get a bit of extra time between when it ADSs and when it shoots. Next up is hold breaths. This will automatically hold your breath when you're aiming down your sight. So you'll see here with it turned off, you aim in, and you have to manually press that. But you'll see with it turned on, it'll do that for you as soon as you aim down your sight. So turn that one on, aim down your sight, and boom, all done for you. Next one is bunny hop. With that on, it allows you to hold the jump button. And as you can see there on the screen, it continuously presses the jump button for you. And then we've got prone shot. Prone shot means it's just a drop shot. So as you shoot, right, it'll make you go prone. If you're standing up, whatever you're doing, you just go prone. There you go. So that's what the prone shot does. And then you've got jump shot. These are the two that have the quick toggles for them. So if you don't want to have to go into the menu every time to turn them off and on, you can set those quick toggles I showed near the start of the video. Jump shot just means that as you shoot, it just continuously jumps for you. Moving on to the next one, we've got fast melee. So with fast melee turned on, it means you just hold your melee button and it spams it for you. Auto run. So if you want to use this one, what you need to do is turn off your auto tac sprint in the game settings. That needs to be just on sprint or off or whatever. But don't have auto tac sprint on if you want to use auto run. In my opinion, it's kind of pointless because you can just put auto tac sprint on. I don't really see the point. But anyway, that's there if you want to use it. Next one is auto aim. Don't start thinking you're getting aimbot with this. As we know, there's nothing even close to that with the Zen. Auto aim just means with that turned on, we back out. All I need to do is start shooting and it'll ADS for me. So all I'm doing here is pulling the right trigger and it ADSs for you as well. And that's what auto aim is. Next is the VM speed. I'm not going to go into this too much because it is quite confusing, but to break it down and keep it nice and simple, it reduces the input lag, but depending on the console that you play on, it means there's different VM speeds that you're meant to use or something. It's quite confusing. What I'll do now is I'll put the VM speed on the screen now, so that way if you want to use it for whatever console you're playing on, give it a go, but I always leave mine at 0. And then lastly, we've got the sniper and handgun mode. So we go into here. As you can see, we've got a AR, which is anti-recoil vertical strength. We've got the speed and the radius. So this is different aim assist and different anti-recoil settings for when you activate that sniper or handgun mode. Now, if you go over here, there's different sensitivity settings as well. And then you've got the option to have auto rapid fire on, which means that when you turn the handgun mode on, rapid fire will also turn on with it. The same for auto hold breath. And we're back to the start. And there we go. So that's everything I wanted to go through for this video. By now, you should have a decent understanding of how to enter the menu, navigate the way around the menu, and change your values. And you should also have a basic understanding of each mod that's available in the script. Like I mentioned earlier, if you want a more in-depth tutorial on some of the other things like the Taylor aim assist, the sticky aim, that sort of thing, progressive anti-recoil, there'll be links in the description to my other videos where I've gone through and explained in full detail what those mods do. Again, I like to try and keep these as short as possible. We're already sitting at about 15 minutes and I don't want to go for much longer. So if you do have any questions, feel free to ask those in the comments. Cheers for watching and I'll see you next time.